Hello, everybody. My name is Brian San Garcia,
I'm Yaya Sakara.
And I'm Kelvin Lopez.
and this is our SLP project. We specifically chose to do our SLP project on Fiestas Patrias, and as the presentation goes on, we'll explain what that is. So for our first slide, we have the methodology, how we implemented the SLP. So we decided to start off the project by exploring the history and traditions of Fiestas Patrias. This here where students will analyze texts, participate in discussions, and make personal connections to their own cultures. Then we move on to a more hands-on interactive phase. It's here where students work on presentations covering not only music, but also important historical events and cultural traditions. They will also take part in interviews where they will interview their family members and learn more about their cultural roots and process. And this pretty much just helps them bridge the gap between what is home and what is school. And we also included different creative activities such as storytelling, crafting picado, and murals, preparing traditional foods, and even learning dances such as, well, folklorico is one example. These experiences can be especially helpful for our English learners and students with different learning needs. And bilingualism is a key part of this project as students will use both English and Spanish to express themselves and share their findings. All right, and we have the second slide, assessment, how we measure learning. So in order to measure learning, we use both formative and summative assessments. Formatively, we have students engage in classroom discussions, keep logs of their research and planning and their interviews. This helps catch misconceptions early and it helps us offer support as needed. For summative assessment, we have two major assessments. First, we have a traditional mid-unit quiz with multiple choice and true and false questions, which are aligned with state standards. It helps see how well students grasp both the historical and cultural content. Then everything is wrapped up with a performance-based assessment, a bilingual cultural showcase. It is here where students will work in groups to present their learning through visual displays, storytelling, music, and well, food traditions. And each presentation is scored using a rubric that looks a bit or that looks at different aspects such as content, creativity, language, use of teamwork, and personal connection. All right.
Okay, so now I'll be sharing what we learned from our literature review about identity, uh, inclusion, and cultural celebration, and how this has informed the design of this service learning project. When students walk into our classrooms, they bring everything with them, their languages, their histories, their thoughts, and their feelings. And even if they can't always name it, they feel whether their culture is reflected or welcomed, and whether their way of being is being honored. Um, so the research has showed us that the cultural celebrations like Fiestas Patrias, they create powerful spaces for belonging. And some of the research that we did showed us that, so DeWild and colleagues, she did a study in 2021 that found out that multicultural festivals give students and families the opportunity to share their identities and their stories on their own terms. And in California, Fiestas Patrias has played an even bigger role. A study done by Hansen in 2017 showed how across generations, these celebrations have helped Mexican American communities resist assimilation and strengthen community bonds. Next. Okay, so next I'm going to talk a little bit about the educational value of festivals. And so festivals are educational tools, and they build connection, reflection, and cultural understanding in ways that traditional classrooms um, often can't. And so language learning plays a really key role in this process. It's not just about mastering the vocabulary or the grammar. It's about learning to listen, to connect, and to experience the world through someone else's senses. When students maintain their home languages and they learn new ones, they strengthen the connections in their brains and in their communities. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Kelvin now to
Okay,
talk about some core insights.
yeah. Okay, so For the aesthetic current side, so in our project, we focus on supporting English learners by creating activities that let them use both English and Spanish. So we encourage them to code switching, so allowing the students to express themselves in whichever language they feel more comfortable, which help lower anxiety and encourage participation. We also use a lot of visual ideas like pictures, maps, and cultural artifacts to help reinforce their understanding. During the assessment, we also have the option to ask for other support, visual explanation, or simply language if they need it. We make sure to meet the needs of students with exceptionalities too. Instead of only giving writing assignment, we offer different ways for students to show their um, learning, like oral presentations, drawings, or multimedia projects. Next. So in a project, we help students to connect what they were learning to their own family traditions through interviews and celebrations like Fiestas Patrias. We make sure to highlight culture from Mexico, Central America, but also bringing in tradition from other places like Colombia or Peru. So students spend time thinking about their culture and tradition, shape who they are. So it was not just about learning the history, it was about seeing themselves as part of it, as people who carry their culture forward through storytelling and music performance. So they have real chance to share their identities and build a strong sense of pride. And next. So for our neurodevelopment methodology, so for our project, we use neurodevelopment. So we include a lot of hang activities like my classmate mentioned it before, like papel picado, cooking, and traditional food. And learning cultural dance. So these activities activate different part of the brain and help the students connect what they were doing to what they were learning. We also make sure to the experience was multisensory, mixing visual, music, movements, and speaking, then especially English learners and students with learning difference. Using both English and Spanish in class help students build their language skills and make them better, which is great first. And so that was all for my part.
Right. And so that pretty much just concludes our SLP project. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. And yeah, thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.